Hey guys, Sos here doing introduction to Hydross on Ascended. So when we pull the boss, you can see there is a blue circle around the boss. We basically call this blue zone. And when the boss is inside here, he will have two mechanics. The first one will be Tidal Wave, which is the same as on Heroic, but on Ascended you will have 3 in a row. So it's really important to notice which is the first, second, and third, so that you can run into the correct one before it explodes. The second mechanic, when he's inside the blue zone, is Water Tomb. Water Tomb is basically a single target stun, and then all other players close to this player will also get stunned. When we bring the boss out, you can see that the 2 beams hitting the boss is now hitting players. So they hit the closest players to the source, and the source is basically from the tower. So whoever is standing closest to the tower will soak the beam. The beam will give debuffs, and at 100 debuffs you will get mind controlled for the rest of the fight. You will still have a Tidal Wave when you bring the boss out of the blue circle, and here you can see the worst case scenario happen, where you have it on the opposite side two times in a row. Simply when this happens, it's generally really good to have disengage and blink, so you can disengage to the second one and then blink to the third one. It's a really safe strategy on this boss. So that is basically the whole fight, guys. I can repeat. During Tidal Wave, you have 3 in a row. Blink and disengage is really good to have. And then you have Water Tomb, which is a single target stun, and everyone else around you will also get stunned. This lasts for about 5 seconds, and these are the 2 mechanics when the boss is inside the blue zone. When we bring the boss out, we will have the 2 beams hitting the boss, hitting players. So you can see we have 2 marks out, skull and cross, and the players basically standing at that position will be the closest one to the towers, and then they will soak the beams. The beams gives a debuff that stacks up to 100, and if you have 100 debuffs, then you get mind controlled. And then you still have Tidal Wave when you bring the boss out of the blue zone as well. Every time you transition the boss in or out of the blue zone, there will be 4 ads spawning. Simply have the off tank pick these up, bring them to the side, and every time you get 4 new elementals, the previous 4 will die. So you can see on the right side we have 2 ground effects on the ground. So generally you want to put these ground effects out of the way of the whole group. It's worth noting that during this during this boss fight, we basically had really low DPS. We had a lot of people with wrong REs and so on. So this was a really horrible attempt for us, but we still managed it in the end. We had 4 people dying and a combat res, and we definitely had a lot of worst case scenarios. So I hope this will be very helpful to learn what can go wrong and how you can solve those mistakes. So here you can see that we decided to stay inside the blue circle for our second Tidal Wave, because we had 2 of our DPS dead. So here we try to get as few debuffs through the beam as possible by keeping the boss longer inside the blue circle. This will definitely make the healing required on the raid a lot higher than usual. So yeah, guys, that's the whole fight. You can choose to stay two tidal waves inside the blue circle if you have the healing for it, and otherwise it would also be possible to kill the boss in 5 rotations, having 5 different people soaking, 5 different sets of people soaking the beams. So here we got extremely lucky, and we got all 3 tidal waves almost at the same position, which is really good. So here we have half of our DPSers dead, which is not a good situation. Here you can see there is my time to soak the stacks, and you can see with my weak aura, you can see how many stacks I have and how fast I get them. Here I soak as a melee, so I tell my whole group to go to the cross side so that I'm able to damage the boss as well. There was a little bit of confusion, so my tank runs in here, and I simply tell him, no, I got it under control. So at this point we have 4 of our DPS dead, so we really want to to combat res before we go in to the blue zone to finish the boss off. So this is basically our last stand. We basically have the boss really low. Everyone in our group have around 80-90 stacks from the beams. We have nothing more to do outside of the blue circle, and here we really want to kill the boss before we get too many stacks. Yeah. So there you go, guys. This is basically the fight. Rinse and repeat. And yeah, you can see how many things that went wrong during our encounter. And yeah, I wish you all good luck with the fight in the future.